Would you like a more joyful, less stressful life? Well, you can. Let's take a typical day. As, for example, Bob, there's Bob, and there's Max. Okay, so it's a typical work day. Bob gets up at the last minute possible because he's tired, so he set his alarm at the latest time possible. So he rushes through the morning, doesn't have time for breakfast, gets in a car, and is stressed out and just uh, he's already frustrated and he's not looking forward to the drive and drive to work and bumper to bumper traffic. And then there's Max. Okay, Max chose to set his alarm early so he can have time, uh, plenty of time to get ready and start the day smoothly. So he decides to, he likes to go and see the sunrise. Okay, so he takes the time to do that. And then he either, reads a poem or anything that relaxes him. Okay, he has his breakfast because he has time to make a good breakfast. And then he gets in the car and he has plenty of time to go to work, so he's not stressed. Okay. So Bob is in his car and there's traffic. There's an accident, and so his heart's pumping and he's nervous and he's irritated, and he might even have road rage because he doesn't want to get to work late. So someone cuts him off and he loses it. He gives him the finger and blah 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 blah. So he gets to work all stressed out. Max, yeah, there's bumper to bumper traffic, but he's cool. Yeah, he's got plenty of time to go to work, to get to work. So he's relaxed, and someone cuts him off. Okay, he cuts him off. And does he react? He doesn't need to react. He's observing that this person who cut him off is not having a good day, is not having a good morning. So he lets him by. He's more in a rush than that person is more in a rush than he is. So it's fine. So he gets to work. He's all relaxed, calm. So he starts the day in a positive way. You have Bob there, who's all stressed out, he's frustrated, and he's a bit late. So he gets to work, he starts to work, and he's irritated, impatient. He's not in a good mood. So since he got to work late, he doesn't take his breaks. So up until noon, he's at his desk, starts to feel the tension in his shoulders. He decides to eat lunch at work because he's got so much work and he's behind. Okay, and then there's Max, who arrived to work really in a good mood, feels good. So he starts his job and he's taking mini breaks because he knows he needs to relax, because if you're sitting at a computer, it's easy to get tension in the shoulders because I used to do that. I used to be like this. So you don't realize, but you have a bad posture. So he takes many breaks. Sometimes it's just walking around, going to the bathroom or going to the water fountain. And he takes his breaks. So in the government, you're allowed to a 15-minute break. So he takes his breaks in the morning and in the afternoon. Either chats a little bit, gets some coffee, and at lunch, he eats lunch in the cafeteria and has a chat with his co-workers. And then he goes outside for a walk. Okay? Natural light, even if it's cloudy, is very good for your health and your body. And your body needs to move. He's been sitting almost all morning. So he gets back to work and he's energized. You have Bob, on the other hand, whose tension is building because he's so stressed out that he doesn't take breaks. And the more he's sitting down, the more he's getting, uh, back, backache or tension in the back or in the shoulders. So at the end of the day, he's tired and he's still stressed. So he jumps in his car, and the drive home is just as bad because he's just as frustrated and stressed out. Okay. And then you have Max, who, same thing, jumps in his car, but he's not tired. No, he's not tired. And let's say both of them don't really like their job. Okay. So Bob complains, and he feels stuck. I hate this job. Gotta work, gotta feed the kids. But you have Max, who acknowledges it's not the best job for him, but he does, in the meantime, appreciate the fact that he has a job. So, and he chooses to start looking for a new job, a job that better suits him. So he's not frustrated. He's got a plan. And he knows he can choose something better for him. Okay. So here he gets home, Max gets home, and he's feeling fine. He's glad to see his family, and they have a nice. They prepare dinner together with the kids. The kids love play. They're old enough to help out, and it's very good for digestion if you prepare your own meal. And then they sit down and have a nice time, a nice family dinner. You have Bob, on the other hand, whose kids are into hockey. Okay, Bob and his wife accepted to put their kids into hockey, which is a competitive sport, which means the games are more often, and oftentimes they're at dinner time, or in the weekends they go away for tournaments and all that. So it's kind of a rushed life. But he doesn't realize that he does not take into account that he chose that for his kids. There's a lots of different options. Max chose to put his kids into activities that are not competitive, though. So it's only once a week and not every weekend. So there you have it. So since the hockey game or the practice is at lunch, supper, dinner time, they don't have time to eat. So they go to a drive-through and eat in the car, which is very, very, well, you don't digest your food, which leads to health problem when you don't digest in the long term. So Bob, at the end of the day, when he gets back from the hockey game, he needs to relax. So TV, beer, or whatever, whatever he needs to escape. He needs to numb himself because he's not happy with his life. And then Max, on the other hand, had a nice dinner, had a nice time with his family. They connected. So after dinner, he decides to go for a walk, a nice evening walk. When he comes back, he might watch some TV, some funny, something that feels good. Because if you watch something that's like a drama or something with violence, or if you watch the news, it's going to stress you, and it's not conducive for a nice sleep, good night's rest. So Max, on the other hand, is all relaxed, felt good, connected, fulfilled. He sleeps well, and then the next day, he's rested and he can start over again. And this is a good example of how your choices determine the quality of your life. The long-term effects of what Bob is choosing is illness, which can lead to injury, because stress in the long term, suppresses the immune system. When you're in fight or flight, the immune system stops and the cell growth stops. So that means health problems in the long term, which can lead to injury because you're all tense. Your body If you're sitting down most of your days, you are not, your body is not prepared for life. Like if you want to play tennis, are you going to say, oh, I pulled a muscle, I did something wrong? Or no, no, you didn't do something wrong. Your muscles are not strong enough and your joints are stiff because you're not moving every day. So we need to move the body to prepare it for life. And so move the joints and work the muscles. So that leads, so Bob, you know, he's depressed, he's got pains and aches of all sorts, and he's got insomnia and basically no quality of life. But Max, because he's choosing, um, he's making higher choices out of love for him. He has a joyful, fulfilled life. He feels alive. He's more resilient because he chooses to move during the day. He sleeps better. He has more energy. He's basically uh, more happy, and he feels more confident and fulfilled about his life because he's choosing um, what is good for him. And when you are fulfilled, you are able to be a better person for others. You give from a full cup, not an empty cup. So, so Bob, until he realizes that he needs to make better choices, that's how you take your power back. You're not a victim. You have to realize that the choices you make, uh, observe the choices you're making. Are they benefiting you? If not, to change them. Make new choices out of love for you. Take your power back. It's all up to you.